few minutes back, we mentioned the idea of craft and the appreciation of craft that it goes into making something. What bigger topic to talk about in regards to that appreciation for the craft of making something than probably the biggest movie award show on the face of planet Earth? It probably, I mean, like, is there a bigger, I mean,
I
at least the biggest movie award show in
It's
America.
a very U.S.-centric view, but, like, aren't movies very U.S.-centric?
No.
Like,
Believe it or not, like, a lot of great foreign cinema has, like, blossomed over the course of many. Well, movies started in France.
Yes, but like, where's the big, like, where do you go if you want to be a movie star? You go to Hollywood.
You go to Hollywood or Bollywood.
Okay, that's a very specific genre you're going for there.
Yes.
But you do go to Hollywood.
You do go to Hollywood.
It springs from there, and like it's expanded outwardly from there. I would say.
Yeah.
And like there's festivals all over the world.
Believe it or not, it was going to start in New Jersey. But Thomas Edison had a monopoly on the phonograph and the kinetograph, which was what they used to make movies back in the 1800s. So all of the filmmakers that were like really disgruntled and didn't really like Edison, the fact that Edison had a monopoly over this new technology, moved west. So they moved west because it was cheap, good weather all year round, and you could make stuff and not have to worry about getting sent a copyright letter or notice letter saying, "Hey, Mr. Edison's gonna tear you guys down." It's not like today's YouTube
Tesla
standards.
would have let them do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tesla would have been okay with it because he's a cool guy.
But anyway, the Oscars.
Oh,
The biggest movie event, the biggest movie award show in America, possibly the world, because they do have certain categories for best foreign language.
Here's the thing about the Oscars, right? Like, your taste is your taste. Just because the Academy says certain things about certain movies and certain aspects of certain movies doesn't mean that you have bad taste.
I agree.
It just means that they have selected this. And generally, they do movies that are, worth merit. They're worth recognizing. But this award is not the end-all, be-all of being a filmmaker. It's not the end-all, be-all of what you enjoy in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I thought Deadpool was amazing. I thought... I never even dreamed it would be in the Oscar conversation.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fantastic movie, start to finish. And then it didn't get nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
And people were outcrying, whatever. Like, who cares? It's your opinion.
Matter.
If you liked it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed Deadpool too. I didn't necessarily think that I thought it was fantastic that they were going for it.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing was like they knew what it was. They knew what the movie was. And they sort of were just like, here it is, take it or leave it,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, I think there's a lot of merit to sort of acknowledge the movie for.
I mean, for its intentions, like, it hit the nail on the head with what it was going for.
Yes.
Which is brilliant, and also, like, I just had a really enjoy, like, you go to the movies to have a good time. Like, you don't go because you're like, oh, I want to be depressed for 2.5 hours because Manchester by the Sea. Like, why is that? Who's that fun for? I don't know.
Well,
people like it because it's like a poignant, moving experience, and you can appreciate a good performance when you see one.
Yeah.
But I'd rather go and be entertained or like be like stunned by visuals or like really appreciate things that I like aesthetically rather than like, man, like I can't believe like this movie where a guy lost a limb and has AIDS is definitely going to be nominated for an Oscar again. Like, that's the formula, right? Like, look at the past, like, tons of... People overcome... It's always about tremendous adversity. Mm-hmm. Very often biopics. They have, these stories that are meant to inspire, but sometimes are just like... Sometimes life doesn't work out and that sucks.
Right.
Like that kind of movie, too, where you're just being brutally beaten over the head the whole time. With
and
this,
sometimes it's good. Like, it sometimes is really, really good and really compelling, and, like, you are thoroughly entertained by that.
Like, okay, so Spotlight was last year's Best Picture winner. Brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Like, so good, and the story was very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
but because it was, again, a controversial subject, a controversial historical event,
Right.
you know, like, this year, so I think we've decided between the two of us.
Well, one of the big things about the Oscars also is that the Academy tends to favorite films that speak to their own personal audience. And their own personal audience is industry executives, older film theoreticians and historians and actors and actresses that have been part of the game for a long, long time. And just the movie industry in general. I think that's like the primary. If your film talks about the film industry in some sort of way,
Yeah.
that's the target demographic for the Academy.
The artist.
Sometimes Birdman. Sometimes that's not your intent, but if that's the case for your movie, if that's like the main aspect of the film is, oh, it's set in the film industry, it's about a struggling actor, director, or whatever, or whatnot. You're probably going to get some sort of like recognition from the Academy to some degree.
Just if it's about the arts in general, the process behind the arts, because there's a lot of like people who dismiss the arts as being simple creatively, and it's about the process behind. There's some good examples of like movies being about the creative process or about the artistic process and the work it takes to go into that. I'm thinking, for example, Whiplash, and Black Swan, and all these things about, I mean, La La Land, right? Like, all these things about being an artist and making your way in the world, that's going to get a lot of buzz too. And again, like, the list this year, you got so many just stories about human life, struggle, artistry.
I think that's really cool. And I think what's really cool about all of the Best Picture nominees is that all of those films, to some degree, were passion projects.
Yeah.
So all of the filmmakers that were involved were either in the business for a while or just starting out, and they had this thing that they just needed to just get out. And they needed people to be like, to get on board and be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to help you make that thing happen. And I think that's truly incredible and a testament to the idea of the craft of filmmaking, because you have so many people passionate about this one thing. And the fact that 9 of those pictures are all just about a group of people getting together and being passionate about this story, that specific story that they're trying to tell, is truly a feat of... It's an incredible feat. The fact that like all of those projects were passion projects, and the fact that it took a long time for those things to be made.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know who should win each award, because I've only seen 2 of the Best Picture nominees. Like, I know what people are saying, the controversy between Silence and Arrival. And,
that's true.
And Amy Adams not getting nominated for Best Actress, all that. No, I've seen Hidden Figures, which was amazing, and I would be totally down for it winning, because it was a great story, had great acting, and it was like a very important historical narrative that is often overlooked, especially in these times when these issues are dividing the country in this way.
Yeah.
But the other one was, and then the one that we're gonna majorly talk about, is La La Land.
Yeah.